from Scully Avenue to Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Whether it's October or the final day of May, the place to be in baseball. The Dodgers and the Yankees in a World Series rematch and a perfect weekend for baseball. It was a thrilling game one last night with the Dodgers coming from behind to take the series opener, and we are all set for game two. We welcome inside Joe Davis, the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. The Dodgers, after winning the World Series, have overcome a ridiculous amount of pitching injuries to sit in first place at this point. And the New York Yankees, while they look a whole lot different, just might be better. They're in first place with the biggest lead in baseball.
Yeah, these are two teams that a lot of people expected would be right in this spot, and they're in this spot because the offense have been really good. Two of the best offenses in baseball, and they're anchored by two of the superstars in baseball. And for the New York Yankees, what can you say about Aaron Judge? He lost Juan Soto, but he didn't lose anything. His average is up. The power's right where it wants to be. The defense is second to none. The New York Yankees are in this position because Aaron Judge is having a magical season. Probably headed for another MVP, and for the New York Yankees, they are offensively right where they want to be.
You get all the build-up when these teams get together, and isn't it fun when the Stars deliver the way they did last night? Judge goes deep in the top of the first inning. Ohtani does it in the bottom of the first, and again later in the game now, 22 to lead the majors.
I'm running out of things to say. How do you describe a greatest player of our generation? Well, he just keeps getting better, and he had surgery in the offseason, let's not forget. And again, he has to slow down. Oh, by the way, he's going to be on the mound soon. So what can't he do? It's everything right now. Power. The top 5 hitters in the lineup for the Dodgers are as lethal as I've ever seen. It starts with Ohtani. He's right for the moment. He never gets nervous, and he delivers every single time. It's must-see TV for the Dodgers.
These two iconic franchises. Last fall was the 12th World Series matchup between these teams. Could they be headed for the same place at the end of this season? Impressive starts for both as we get ready for the middle game of this highly anticipated series. A couple of iconic franchises. And in the City of Stars, the marquee matchup of the regular season here. Dodgers, Yankees, Baseball Night in America coming up next on Fox.
You know, on these rare occasions that we get to say Yankees, Dodgers in the same sentence, there's only one thing to do, right? Give that customary tip of the cap to the old school. Pop the doors to the DeLorean, throw on some tunes, take a ride back in time. Serve up that fastball right down the middle.
There's a fly ball.
The same thing we always do. You could walk through any one of these portals to the past and open the door to a great story.
Robinson dashes to the plate.
But as rich as the history is, as great as the eras were,
Escaped us for a long time. Sombrero, throw it to the...
you know, as tempting as it is to go backwards, are we getting ahead of ourselves? Behind ourselves? What if we just hit pause on rewind for just a beat and smell the roses? Yeah, take a second to appreciate what's happening right in front of us.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is good!
What if we make this about the here and now? Open the door to the next great era in this rivalry. The New York Yankees, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The best part? Who knows what the future holds?
All right, we're just about ready to go, and thanks to Owen Wilson, his new sports comedy Stick premieres this Wednesday, June 4th on Apple TV+. 83 degrees, beautiful day for baseball in Los Angeles. Glad you're with us. Hope you're having a great weekend. Freddie Freeman and the Dodgers taking the field, trying to take this series after the 8-5 win in the first game last night. Aaron Judge and the Yankees at 35-21, the largest division lead in baseball. 6 games up in the American League East and a game and a half back of the Detroit Tigers for the best record in baseball. Let's see the lineup for Game 2. Judge will bat second behind Trent Grisham and ahead of Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt, two of the new additions that have been fantastic for the Yankees. Jason Dominguez bats fifth, then it's Volpe and Wells. DJ LeMahieu at second base hitting eighth, and Jorby Bebos, the former Dodger farmhand, is the nine-hitter and third baseman. Well, he just keeps on getting better, this guy. I mean, you figure at some point he's going to get to the point where there's no other way he can improve, but he's gone from the best slugger in the game to the most well-rounded hitter in the game.
When I look at numbers, I get a few notes on each guy. I've got 2 pages on Aaron Judge. It's that good. The numbers are that good, and he's gotten really the respect he deserves. He's gotten better every year, closed windows. Pitchers are having a hard time getting him out.
Take a look at Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. And we say thanks to Google Cloud for powering these real-time insights. They give the Yankees 60% chance to score more than 5 runs. They scored 5 runs yesterday, and they scored a bunch early, but the Dodgers came back to win that game 8-5, and they'll try to do it today against Landon Knack, who for a lot of last season held this rotation together coming up from the minors with a 3.65 ERA. He's been back and forth so far this year and makes his 6th start today.
Well, I don't know a lot of people had him penciled in the rotation with all the money they spent, but all the injuries that they have had in their rotation. Landon Knack is going to provide valuable innings. You see what he's done with the fastball, changeup. He's got that curveball, knuckle curveball, and slider. He's have to be really good with the off-speed pitches against the Yankees and not live in the zone with his fastball.
The defense behind Landon Knack on this Saturday afternoon will look like this. Conforto, Pajes, and Teoscar Hernandez across the outfield. Ha-Seong Kim gets his first start at short in the big leagues. With no Mookie Betts today, he jammed his toe going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, just like all of us have done before, and out of the lineup day to day. Tommy Edmonds at second. Freddie Freeman, the reigning World Series MVP, at first, and Will Smith doing the catching. The Yankees have won 16 of their last 21 games. And Trent Grisham, who climbs in here, has been a big part of it. Over in the same deal that brought Juan Soto from San Diego a couple years ago, and has gotten his chance and thrived. And off we go with the fastball upstairs.
This is one of the most incredible turnaround years in Trent Grisham for the Yankees. Why they're having success. You see the 13 home runs. I don't even think he thought he would be in this position playing a lot.
No.
But you know what? He provides defense and a good eye at the plate. He always works a lot of pitches.
Yeah, he's always taking his walks, but taking those walks this year, and when he's swinging, he's hammering the ball. You mentioned those 13 home runs. Got his 13th last night. On a 2-0 from Knack, he takes outside ball 3.
Well, pitchers in this day game, the ball is going to jump, I would think. It's a hot day in L.A. Doesn't prevent Knack from having those sleeves. I'm sure those are cool sleeves, not the thick ones.
It's a 4-pitch walk to start the game, and so Grisham's aboard for Aaron Judge. Number 1 in the majors, hitting .392. If you're just a kind of baseball fan that tunes in this time of year, checks in, you might look at that and say, wait a minute, what? Yeah, Aaron Judge, who's known for the home runs, is hitting .392, leading the majors in everything. And the Dodgers have some pretty darn good hitters too, and statistically, it's not even close. This has been the best hitter in baseball.
Well, the breaking ball down is still a little bit of an Achilles heel, but he doesn't swing and outside the plate. Up in the top of the strike zone is right now the only spot you can get Aaron Judge. You leave something fat over the zone, a fan in the outfield seats is going to get this ball.
As they did in the first inning yesterday. Judge hitting his 19th. Leads the majors in batting average. He's second in the American League in home runs. He's second in RBIs. Perhaps making a triple crown push.
Dangerous 2-0 pitch right here. Judge is going to be ready to let the bat fly if he sees one middle from the belt down.
Next, still trying to throw his first strike of the game. Here's his 2-0 to Judge. And it's in there.
And that was away. So you always, as a hitter, you look for the pitch that you like the most. And if it's in that area, you let it fly. That was in the outside part of the plate. Took it for a strike.
Knack to Judge with a 2-1. A ground ball foul evens the count 2-2. Judge hit one of the 4 home runs for the Yankees over the first 3 innings yesterday against Tony Gonsolin, but they would not score from there. Dodgers got 4 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th to win it.
So that breaking ball right there that he fouled off, if he fouls it with another breaking ball just a little bit lower, you've got a chance to get Judge to go down and get it.
To third for Muncy. Guns to second for 1. Edman to first. The double play. So 5-4-3. They go around the horn to wipe the bases clean.
They got the ball down, and the breaking ball was down, like I said, and he got him to go get it, and the ground ball right to the pitcher's best friend. No double play.
So 2 gone in this first inning, and the old Dodger, longtime Dodger, comes up, Cody Bellinger. Now, 1 week after Juan Soto agreed to the big contract with the Mets, Plan B started to become clear. Cody Bellinger was acquired from the Chicago Cubs, and after a rough first month, he's been excellent in May. Hits this ball in the air to right field. Teoscar Hernandez is there, and that's a scoreless first inning for Landon Knack. Shohei Ohtani in his major league leading 22 home runs, ready to lead things off for the Dodgers when you come back. Ohtani heads up there to lead things off for the Dodgers, and the lineup looks like this with Teoscar Hernandez and Freddie Freeman to follow him. Will Smith having a great season as the catcher. Muncy bats 5th. Andy Pages in center field with Conforto, Edman, and Kim to finish things up.
Well, Warren attacks with his fastball. High percentage of first pitch fastballs. Will he stay stubborn with that against the Dodgers? I say you got to pitch a little reversed. First pitch fastball to Ohtani could be a quick score change, so you got to get the respect of this lineup. Doesn't chase, but the aggressiveness of Will Warren, we'll see how he goes.
3 times the last 5 games, Ohtani has led off with a home run. Hit 2 of them yesterday. That's 15 in the month of May. That's 22 this season to lead the big leagues. So after he had 54 in his first season with the Dodgers, on pace for more than 60 this year. Hits one sharply and through, and a leadoff hit for Ohtani.
Well, for Ohtani, and we all talk about the anticipation back to the mound, I would think he's got about 3 more weeks of stealing bases at an aggressive level before they temper that down once he goes to the mound. But it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't change anything about his game. A weapon on the bases, a weapon at the plate, and soon to be a weapon on the mound.
That's the amazing thing. He's doing things that feel like we've never seen before, and it's only half of the ordeal. It's only half of what you get when he's at the peak of his powers, as Teoscar Hernandez fouls off the first pitch.
Well, that's just an incredible success rate, the amount of speed and power that he displays. No bets in the lineup, but the Dodgers top 5 still. They are a great top 4 offensive team.
Teoscar Hernandez back on a 3-year contract. Proved himself last year on that 1-year deal. A lot of the proving happened against the Yankees. That series in June, he was excellent at Yankee Stadium and then performed again in the postseason. And you figured when the fans were chanting at the World Series parade, bring back Teo, bring back Teo, they had to find a way to do it. And he's been even better in his 2nd year in L.A. I mean, this is another guy not on Judge's level, but the same idea where you think of him as a power hitter. He's turning into a well-rounded hitter.
The average is surprising because he more is a power hitter thought of, but he's cut down on those strikeouts. And if he continues to do that, the average will go up, and the ability to drive in runs will go up as well.
A 2-1 from Warren, fouls it off.
Now, Warren has 2 fastballs. They're both sneaky. A 4-seam fastball that he'll throw away, and then he's got that 2-seam movement with 2 different breaking balls. So he has the ability to quiet offenses when he's making pitches down in the zone, and he gets a lot of called strikeouts, especially with his fastball.
Only Tarek Skubal has a higher strikeout rate, reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League. And Will Warren. There's a sneaky fastball right there by Hernandez for the first out.
You always need pleasant surprises in your run to back to championship form, and Will Warren could be that for the Yankees.
So 1 gone in this first inning, and the reigning World Series MVP Freddie Freeman climbs in. And he has followed up that tear in the World Series with a huge season. 368 to lead the National League after he got 3 more hits last night. Asher Investments player profile. You figure that it's going to be one of these two guys that wins National League Player of the Month. What do you got?
That's incredible. I mean, to hit 400 is incredible, but how about the 15 home runs?
Hard to beat that. That is a Dodger record for the month of May. Freeman pokes a base hit the other way. And Ohtani and Freeman both with first inning singles against Will Warren. With Dodger offense, you're talking about the top four being so good. Ohtani and Freeman both coming up with hits. And now you got Will Smith coming to the plate. And if you ask Dave Roberts, this is the guy that's really made the lineup go.
Yeah, he's got the combination of patience and the ability to barrel a baseball. He just doesn't give in. He's awesome with runners in scoring position because of his ability to barrel a baseball. And it wouldn't surprise me if he uncharacteristically swings at this first pitch with runners on.
He does, and bangs a base hit to right center field. Ohtani heads for the plate. Throw goes to third. Freeman's in there. Into second goes Smith, and the Dodgers on the board quickly. Will Smith with an RBI single. 1-0 LA.
That's scouting report 101. Fastball throwing first pitch out of Will Warren. And a guy that you typically think is going to work the count, not so fast with runners on. He goes to right field. He does it as good as anybody. That speaks to what Dave Roberts talks about with Will Smith. And the key is managing his times behind the plate so you can keep his bat in the lineup.
He's gotten off to hot starts before. He's gone to the last two All-Star games, but injuries have kept him from being as good in the second half. They just caught up their top prospect, who's another catcher, in Dalton Rushing, and the hope is that a little more time for Rushing means a little more health for Smith as the year goes on, to your point.
Yeah, that position will wear you out. Physically, mentally, all the things you have to do, and that's why it's so rare to have a combination catcher with average and power like Will Smith.
Second and third with one away. Max Muncy comes up.
Here's another guy. Typically works the count, doesn't swing at the first pitch. Runners on second and third with the infield in. All bets are off. If I'm pitching and Will Warren, I'm thinking off speed on the first pitch here to Max Muncy.
Swing and a miss, and it was.
And that was just a great breaking ball that started in the zone and darted out of the zone and fooled Max Muncy.
You know, for the Yankees offensively, the question was, how do they deal without Juan Soto in the rotation? How do they handle losing Garrett Cole and then Heal? Well, Will Warren's been a big part of that answer. 25 years of age, from Brandon, Mississippi. His last four starts, he's got a 2.05 ERA.
And he's been striking out a ton of guys in those four spots. He needs a strikeout right here in the worst way in the first inning.
Delivers 1-1. Ball two.
The thing about the Dodgers that's so impressive, you saw those two changeups right there. I'd say 90% of the players that would be up there would have swung at him. And that's what Max Muncy, even though he's struggling, Dave Roberts loves the fact that he doesn't expand the zone. Now, he'll expand it up. It's hard for him to expand it down unless it's a breaking ball.
199 career home runs for Muncy. Strokes a base hit up the middle. Freeman can walk home. Smith will stop at third. 2-0 Dodgers.
Showed him a first pitch breaking ball, and then he hits one out over the plate right up the middle. And the rally that the Dodgers put on has continued in the second game here. They've jumped on the Yankees. They were down to a great pitcher by 4 or 5 runs and came back and won that game.
Yeah, Max Fried's been the best pitcher in baseball this year. He'd given up 10 runs total before he gave up 6 runs last night. First and third, one away. Here's Andy Pages. And they just keep on coming, showing the length of this lineup. This is a guy in Pages a month into the season, John, was looking over his shoulder wondering when somebody was going to come up to take his spot, but has turned a complete corner. And the Dodgers think that what they're seeing the last month or so is real. It's at $150 a month in. 330 with Game-changing defense since then.
And he's one of the best breaking ball hitters off of right-handed pitchers in the league. As a matter of fact, he's the best. So strength against strength here, and how that Will Warren will navigate this 1-1 count, getting a swing and miss, trying to induce a ground ball, or again another strikeout.
Here comes Warren's 1-1. Pages chases strike 2.
That breaking ball is firm and late. And because of the angle that he throws out of this lower 3/4, see how it stays in the strike zone and looks good to the hitter the whole way? He could expand it if he wanted to, or throw that fastball up here with 1-2 pitch.
Does go up with the fastball.
It's watching him pitch the last 3 games. This is classic Will Warren. His sneaky fastball gets ahead of the hitters, and then when he climbs the ladder, they don't get to it, because they've slowed him down with a breaking ball. Then they raise the eye level of a fastball. Now he can do whatever he wants right here. He can throw that breaking ball again after the fastball up that he fouled off.
Does throw the breaking ball off.
Just a little too low. Yep, just a little too low, and it changed the eye set of Pages.
That breaking pitch of Warren's breaks as far as any sweeper in the majors, about 20 inches on average. See what he goes with on 2-2. Back to the fastball and poked foul. Four hits in this first inning for the Dodgers. Smith at third, Muncy at first, another 2-2 to Pages, and the count goes full. So 21 pitches already for Will Warren, still looking for his second out.
And here, if you're Dave Roberts, do you trust Pages and send the runner, Muncy, not most fleet of foot, on a 3-2 count? This is where Will Warren has gotten some great success on fastballs down that look like they're going to be a ball and stay there and get a called strike. He's got a lot of called strikeouts in the last 4 games.
It's an aggressive hitter here in Pages. His payoff. Another foul, up to 97 that time. So this is a bucket list moment for him, pitching at Dodger Stadium, kid from a small town in Mississippi. And it was also a chance for him to say, okay, I've pitched really well lately. Let's go see where I'm at against one of the best lineups in the game.
He had a game similar to this in Colorado. He had 2 runs in and a lot of traffic on the bases, and buckled down and held him there, which I thought was a tremendous job in Colorado. Now, he's not facing the Colorado lineup. He's facing the Dodgers. It's going to be a little more of a test here, down 2-0.
Hard to get any more polar opposite in those 2 lineups. He winds up walking Pages on 9 pitches. Pages takes the walk to load the bases. Up comes Michael Conforto. Longtime New York Met. In his first season with the Dodgers, has struggled mightily. Dodgers taking some comfort lately. He's been hitting the ball harder. Had a big bases loaded walk last night. Finds himself with the bases loaded again.
Yeah, and surprisingly been struggling on fastballs. And here's a chance right here to get going. He's going to face a lot of fastballs, I would think, against Warren. The bases loaded.
7th man to bat in this first inning. Bends back on a first pitch fastball.
You can tell the adrenaline is a little bit high for Warren. Typically, those 2 fastballs vary between the 4-seam that's on the belt and the 2-seam, which is down, and he hasn't really connected with either of them on a consistent basis.
2-0.
That's the downside. The good side of his arm angle, tough to see, tough to hit. The downside of the arm angle, you can get in that upshoot. You can start missing the strike zone in places that get you in big time trouble against a team, again, that doesn't swing outside the zone very much.
Michael Conforto looking for his first hit with a runner in scoring position since March. 2-1.
I actually like that pitch. 2-0. He threw him a breaking ball. He missed 2 straight fastballs and came in with a breaking ball. You might very well see that same breaking ball again on the 2-1.
Bases loaded, 1 away, 2 in the bank here in the first. Conforto had 1 to hit and fouled it off. So same idea though, that fastball that doesn't look too great as far as the velocity, not always commanded perfectly, but guys just don't seem to get good looks at it. And that funky low delivery. And Will Warren, can he respond the way he did in Colorado on Sunday? He's home with a 2-2. Conforto lifts the ball to right center field. Bellinger runs back, edge of the track, he's got it. Plenty deep enough to bring home Will Smith, and it's 3-0 Dodgers in the first. Sacrifice fly for Michael Conforto. He's knocked in a run in both games this weekend.
Well, the defense by the Yankees should be much better this year, and part of the reasons one of the guys that playing right field in Bellinger. Last year they were really undone by their defense, and it all could be trick. You know, that 5th inning could kind of just sum up the way the year was for the Dodgers, or for the Yankees when they faced the Dodgers in that epic 5th inning.
Tommy Edman to the plate here. Was Edman who hit that soft line drive to center field that Judge couldn't corral, that started that inning that they'll talk about as long as they talk about baseball, and that probably always going to stand as one of those innings that represents World Series meltdowns. Upstairs and a ball on Edman, who missed 3 weeks with an ankle injury, has struggled since coming back, just 5 for 35.
Typical Yankees, or typical Dodgers against the Yankees. 17 strikes, 17 swings. They haven't taken a strike, so the game plan's been pretty simple.
Poke pass stolen under Bebos, and just as we talk about the defense letting them down in the World Series, it does right here. A 4 spot for the Dodgers in the first. And the Dodgers have batted around in this first inning.
Well, he was playing in and had to respect Edmonds, and he slices one that just takes a nasty hop. And I'm pretty sure they're going to give that a hit, because I already wrote it down as a hit.
They have to. They have to now. I got pen today. Hey, good news.
It's a hit.
It's a hit. Don't need that magic eraser. So they've batted around in this first inning as Ha-Seong Kim comes to the plate.
Well, the worst part for Will Warren is not only did he not get out of the inning right there, he's in that danger part of 30 pitches in an inning. There's nothing worse than being in a hot game on the road and you piled up 30 pitches and you're not sat down yet.
And the bullpen has already begun to stir for the Yankees. So 4 in the bank, 2nd and 3rd for the Dodgers here, and Kim, who hits 9th, comes up to the plate. Kim, 26 years old, from Korea, started this season in AAA. Came up at the beginning of this month because of some of the injuries the Dodgers were dealing with, and they figured it'd just be a couple weeks. Shows play here and takes a ball, but he's done so much that as they got healthy, instead of sending Kim back to the minors, they released their longest tenured player in Chris Taylor.
Yeah. Well, nice start at home. 467 batting average at home will get you some playing time.
Yeah. Starts at short today. Mookie Betts is out. And day-to-day with that fractured toe. You hear fractured toe, and it's like, man, that ain't good. But Dodgers say, we'll figure a few days and hoping to avoid an IL stint for Betts. Kim, pretty good guy to plug in. 366 in his first month in the big leagues. And he's ahead 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, you know, peripheral vision works for pitchers because they know who's standing on deck. And a 3-0 count with a base open and Ohtani up. Pour it down the middle.
Yeah, part of the beauty of hitting ninth in front of Ohtani. Part of what's allowed Kim to get off to the start that he has. He sees a lot of strikes. Pitchers having that peripheral vision. 3-2. .35 pitch first inning for Will Warren. Been one of the hottest pitchers in the league. 5 hits and a walk in the inning. 3-2 on Ha-Seong Kim. Warren deals, and Kim takes ball 4 to get Ohtani up again for the second time in the first inning. And a decision here for Aaron Boone. Does he hope that Warren can get through this and get into the game? Or does he make a change and get that bullpen going early? We're stuck between a rock and a hard place here.
Yeah, and if that's tough, whatever's tougher than that, he's got it right now. Yeah. Facing Ohtani after already throwing. Did he get a strike called on him? The umpire
I haven't seen the sit.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, they've put it up. A pitch clock violation. Took Ohtani too long to get into the box.
Wow.
Warren is saying thank you, baseball gods. Yeah, so with that first pitch, it's 1-1. Started this off with a base hit. Yeah, you saw a lot of times it's so subtle.
Yeah.
Home plate umpire John Tumpane said, hey, welcome to home plate, strike 1. Mack is loving what he's watching. Here's a 1-1 pitch, and there's strike 2.
Higher than high, lower than low. The only 2 spots you can go. See that movement right there? Fantastic location and movement.
One-two pitch. Yeah, and he got him. So the Dodgers get 4 in the first inning. Warren's able to strike out Ohtani to leave the bases loaded, but the damage is done, and the guys that have carried this offense all season get it started. After an inning in L.A., Dodgers 4, Yankees nothing. East Coast, West Coast, New York and Los Angeles. Dodgers and Yankees in a World Series rematch this weekend at Dodger Stadium. And it has lived up to the hype so far. The buzz in this park last night, it felt like a postseason game midsummer. Landon Knack misses with his first pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. And the Yankees, John, this year really a case study in one superstar versus 4 or 5 really good players. Yeah. They lose the superstar in Soto, but they've gotten guys like Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt to come in, and the offense has been even better.
It really has, and it really has changed the roster and their ability to defend too. I know that the thought of having Soto and going to the World Series, having him again, but they didn't make that choice, and with the choices they made after that, I thought made them a much better flexible team in what pieces they added.
Yeah, pretty darn good plan B. After Soto chooses the Mets, Bellinger and Goldschmidt come in, Fried what he's done in the rotation. Goldschmidt smacks a fly ball deep to the right field corner. Teoscar Hernandez over with room. 1 gone in this second inning, and tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Step up to the plate for savings. One gone in this second inning. The other thing that has happened with the Yankees this year, guys like this have gotten extended opportunities. Jason Dominguez, their one-time top prospect. I think it's still safe to consider him that, because even though he arrived 2 years ago, he's yet to get that extended opportunity to show what he's got.
He's been much better against right-handers than he has against left-handers this season. And his ability to hit middle in is really good, but his inside swings and misses is where he is making, where pitchers are getting him.
No. Breaking pitch missed up. Dominguez is still just 22 years of age. Got to the big leagues late in 2023, set the world on fire that first week. 4 home runs in his first 8 games, but then he tore his elbow, had to undergo Tommy John surgery. It stunted what looked like it was going to be just a blitz of the league right from the start for Dominguez. So last year mostly rehabbing. He dealt with other injuries as well. Yankees stuck with Alex Verdugo into the postseason, and Dominguez only played 18 games. So similar to Trent Grisham, he was in the franchise, but just didn't really have a shot last year. They're taking advantage of that opportunity now. Back home with a payoff. Strikes him out. First one of the game for Knack.
That's where they go, and he got caught twice on a pitch that he turned away from. So that tells you what his view of an inside pitch looks like. That pitch is inner third from the strike zone, and he thinks that pitch is inside. So that's his little... Every hitter has a hole. Every hitter has a weakness in an area, and that one they exposed right there.
Anthony Volpe. We were talking with Aaron Boone, John, about Volpe before the game, and he lit up and he said, "I'll take this version of him any day." You know, the defense has been excellent since he arrived. Base running's been good. A little more consistency to the offense lately too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing when you're going to replace one of the greatest shortstop of all time and Derek Jeter. And you know, this young man has speed. He's trying in between. Should I be a power hitter? Do I make more contact? You know, and I think at Yankee Stadium, everyone feels like they're a power hitter. And you can get out of your mechanics a little bit. And that front shoulder, I think, is a key for him into having success at the plate.
Had a really encouraging postseason. Hit .286 in the playoffs for the Yankees. And Aaron Boone saying that feels like a bit of a turning point for him. He's continued to offer that this year. And you had the decade gap or so between Jeter and him, but it was so easy to draw the comparisons as a first-round shortstop, getting to the big leagues at a young age. Grew up a Yankees fan, dreaming of being the next Jeter. That's heavy stuff. Freeman to put it away, and into 1-2-3 second for Landon Knack. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Go to MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Dodgers continued what they did late last night. It's now 10 runs over their last 4 offensive innings. On to the second we go. 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Teoscar Hernandez leads off. Chops Will Warren's first pitch foul.
I tell you, it messes with a pitcher when you've had success with your fastball, and a lot of teams have taken it. They're only 41% swing rate against this guy. That's very low. And what the Dodgers did in the first inning is didn't swing at one pitch that wasn't a strike. So it messes with you, and I think he's got to get back to his core of throwing a few more strikes and trying not to miss as many bats in this lineup.
Now, you mentioned his start on Sunday against Colorado. He's got a similar test here where he gave up 2 runs in the first inning against the Rockies, but then retired 12 of the next 13 before the rain delay came and couldn't come back into the game. But Aaron Boone said he felt like that was a big deal for him, that start. Even though the final line wasn't that impressive, the poise that he showed to get through that. And again, that was the Rockies, not the Dodgers, but he's been punched quickly recently and responded. And has a model, I guess, in Tony Gonsolin last night, who gave up those 4 home runs early, still went 6 innings. Got evens 2-2 on Hernandez.
But see, that's a perfect example of how many teams would have swung at that pitch. When you're a pitcher and you've had success across the league in certain ways of pitching, and then you face that one team that's an outlier, it messes with you. That's why the Dodgers are so good. They don't typically swing wildly out of the zone.
Time out! That's a pitch clock violation!
Well, we've gotten 2 things already that I didn't think we'd see. One on the hitter, one on the pitcher. My brain cannot get over how that ever happens, ever, once you know it.
Yeah, clocks are everywhere, too.
I don't know how that ever happens, but we see it.
So it's a 3-2, and it's a check swing and a leadoff walk for Teoscar Hernandez. Brings up Freddie Freeman. We're going to take you back, all the way back to last October. It felt like a movie, didn't it, for Freddie Freeman? Stepped to the plate in Game 1, hit the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history. It was a fall classic of first for him. He homered in each of the first 4 games, the first guy ever to do that. And when it was all said and done, his 12 RBIs tied for the all-time record and did it in 5 games. got the MVP and a life-changing run for Freddie Freeman.
He did it on one ankle. One ankle.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that ankle is still not totally right. He still gets about an hour of treatment on it each day. Yet at the age of 35, he's got the #1 average in the National League, by far the best that he's ever had. 372 as he fights through that and fights Father Time.
I think the dumbest things teams do against Freddie Freeman is try to put him in a shift, which they do. I don't understand it. He's not a guy that prototypically just pulls, and he'll make you look silly because he hits to all parts of the field.
And he'll steer it there.
Absolutely.
Honed his swing with his dad Fred growing up in Orange County, not too far from here, and every day they'd go to the field, bucket of balls. First thing they do is hit him the other way. And just one defender over on that left side. As Freeman takes ball 3.
The 3 outs in the first inning were all on the changeup, so you're seeing Warren trying to throw more of those changeups, and that was one that he left just a little bit outside.
Back-to-back walks to open the second. And like father, like son, Freddie's son Charlie was here earlier today. Stud.
Yeah, you know this is going to be a right-handed version of his dad. Who knows? He may even start switch hitting them.
Right? Come on, do it like dad too. So 2 walks in this second inning. Will Smith comes up, leading the league in on-base percentage, and he's on some kind of tear lately. 407 the last few weeks. And Matt Blake coming out for another visit here.
Yeah, this is actually to give some time now. I don't know if Will Warren's going to be in this game much longer. He's battled through that first inning, walked the first 2 hitters, and this is just to get that bullpen as much time possible.
It was De Los Santos that won the first time. It's Hedrick this time. It could be a big load for the Yankees pen to carry today.
Last time, first pitch, fastball laced into right field. We'll see what Will Warren and his game plan does. When a hitter takes something away, typically you want to go with something different, especially on the first pitch.
Fastball got it by him. Among the many things Will Smith has excelled at this year, he's the #1 hitter in baseball with runners in scoring position, above 490 in these situations. Got Hernandez at second, Freeman at first. And waits on this 0-1 from Warren. Pokes it down the right field line, slicing. Foul.
He's so good at going the other way that at some point you got to make him inconscious, because he will do that with 2 strikes and even without 2 strikes at will. No pun intended.
Hey, nice.
I didn't mean that.
I know you didn't.
No.
Lays off that high fastball.
Tried to come in right there.
Now the 1-2.
No.
Just missed, ball 2. Will Warren, an 8th-round draft pick out of southeastern Louisiana. Got to the big leagues last year, was back and forth all year, had a 10 ERA in 6 games, and so was a bit of a surprise to make the rotation this year.
No.
He's gone full on Smith. He's inspiring hope the last month or so. Running into a buzzsaw so far today.
Yeah, he sure is. They've taken every tough, close pitch. Second best hitter with 2 strikes, Will Smith.
Weak roller to short. Volpe will shove it to second for one. On to first. I got him. Double play on a bang-bang play at first.
I don't know about that. I think they're going to take a look.
Thinking all kinds of English on it, taking its time getting out to Volpe.
Yeah, I thought he was safe when I saw it live.
And he
safe.
was.
Yeah.
The Dodgers will challenge this.
It's easier up here, isn't it?
Sure, especially if you slow it down like that.
Los Angeles is challenging the out call first base.
You know, the Dodgers got off to such a good start this season. They were 8-0, and it's like, man, oh man, how many games is this team going to win this year? But as they've run into all those pitching injuries, right around 500 since that 8-0 start. And we're talking with Dave Roberts before the game. Given those pitching injuries, how do you feel about where you're at, how this season's gone? And he said without hesitation, I feel great.
Yeah, as he should. I mean, this is really incredible. I know they spent a lot of money, and everyone might complain about the resources they have. But the biggest thing is they have been decimated with injuries that no other team could sustainably
After
keep
review,
up
the
with.
call is overturned. Runner is safe. Los Angeles retains its challenge.
They've got 14 pitchers on the injured list, and it's not just, you know, a bunch of random guys. Their top 5 right-handed relievers are on the injured list. 3 starting pitchers from the season opening rotation. Still waiting on Ohtani to come back. And yet 35-22 with a 2-game lead on San Diego.
Well, I'm sure he'd also tell you no one's going to feel sorry for him. You know, that's why the reason they went out and got a lot of different arms. I knew last year's run to the bullpen in the World Series was going to have a devastating impact on it, and it shows it has. And a lot of those guys have, you know, not bounced back yet.
First and third from Muncy. Not going to run his first time. Fly ball left center field. Trent Grisham on the move. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's gone. It's career home run 200 from Max Muncy. And it's an early explosion for the Dodgers, leading the Yankees 7-zip. And that will do it for Will Warren. Came in with a 2 ERA over the last month. He's given up 7 in 1 1/3. And it's Max Muncy connecting on his 5th of the year, the 200th of his big league career. The Yankees bullpen already goes to work here in the second inning as Andy Pages flies the first pitch that Brent Hedrick throws to left field, and Jason Dominguez, so 2 gone. Just 1 pitch right there from Hedrick, who's been back and forth between the big leagues and AAA this year. He replaces Will Warren. 7 runs in 1 1/3.
Number 23.
And it ends with Max Muncy's 200th career home run. Congratulations from his manager. Quite a guy, quite a story to have 200 home runs. A guy who was cast off by the Oakland A's years ago. Yeah, one of the all-time home run hitters in Dodger history now, about a decade into his time with the team.
Well, fastball, slider, and split with an occasional change out of this lefty. See, he hasn't been scored upon here in 7 2/3.
Pitched just last night, went 1 1/3 scoreless. And ahead of Conforto 0-2. Sac fly for Conforto in the first inning. Dodgers with 13 unanswered since the Yankees hit those 4 early home runs yesterday.
No.
Breaking pitch just misses. Hedrick out of Braidwood, Illinois. Stayed in state, went to Illinois State University. Got drafted by the Twins and debuted for the Twins the last couple of years. Never really did latch on, though. And over to the Yankees, his first season there.
No.
2-2.
No.
Dodger team makes pitchers throw a lot of pitches to get them out. You can get them out, but you better be on and execute.
Conforto draws the walk. 5 today for the Dodgers.
Well, the 1 through 5 hitters that really has built this season for the Dodgers, this series have done their job. That's how you make pitchers fear when the lineup turns over. And if you don't get a couple guys on or get them out before a couple guys get on, boy, it's going to be a big inning.
And that's how you sit in first place, even though half your pitching staff is on the injured list. They have out-hit those problems. Tommy Edman up there takes a strike. And they've needed to, because the division's been better than anybody anticipated.
Yeah.
Not just the Padres. The Giants are right there. Edman has his second base hit of the day. This one will go for extra bases. Conforto's given the wave as that ball nestles into the corner, and he will score. Tommy Edman with an RBI double to add on, make it 8-0.
Well, today, some teams have had their hitting shoes on. The Milwaukee Brewers, 17 runs. The Rays, 16 runs. And now, 7 in the 8.
Can't even keep up.
Can't even keep up. 8 in the second inning.
And Kim, the 9-hitter, getting his second at-bat already in the second inning. A walk the first time for Kim. Ohtani's on deck again. On a strike on Kim. 7 seasons in the KBO for him. He hit above 300. Stole 30 bases a year. He's given the Dodgers kind of a spark of excitement in a different type of player than they're used to having. It's a veteran team with a lot of traditional hitters. This guy.
Wow, you don't see that very often.
Guy.
Did you see that? Foul ball off the catcher over the screen into the stands.
I'll be honest, I can't see anything.
Yeah, the glare is pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. But watch this. This is a foul ball off the helmet, and it went over the screen.
Man. Seven hits, 5 walks already for L.A. Kim fouls it off, stays alive.
By the way, Rick and I were talking before the game. And I threw something out there that the more I think about it, I should have known they've already got it, right? There's technology for everything. And I was like, I wonder how many of those home runs that Ohtani and Judge hit, now they're both freaks, how that would correlate to all the parks around baseball. And they've got that.
Oh, yeah.
And so, for example, Judge and Ohtani are going to hit a lot more home runs in certain ballparks, but then they're going to hit a lot less in other ballparks. And Detroit being one of those parks, they'd only have 12 and 13 home runs, I believe is what it was for each guy respectively. But they don't play in those ballparks, but at least you know if they did.
Hey, the way the Tigers are going, those guys might want to figure out how to hit home runs there too. Tigers' best record in baseball.
Yeah, that's something nobody could have seen coming, and good for them, because that last part of the season heroic run, You know they're drawing off of it, but I don't know how many people thought that would translate into this year.
Yeah.
It sure has.
Yeah.
They lost a tough one today, though. 1-0.
Wow. Skubal again today.
Skubal. He didn't get the loss, but
He didn't get any run support.
they didn't get any run support.
After 13 Ks his last time in a complete game against Cleveland. 8th pitch coming to Kim, and he hammers the ball back to right field, and how far? My goodness. Ha-Seong Kim goes way gone, and it's 10-0 Dodgers. This is absurd.
Well, I felt like the ball was going to be flying today because it's hot. I thought both teams would share in that. Right now it's been a one-team kind of lopsided entourage of runs. What we can't see up here, they obviously can see down there in the plate.
Ohtani out in front 0-2.
So I just got handed this.
Yeah.
You know it's not going to be a good game when 3 hitters from the Yankees haven't batted yet, and this is the 3rd at bat for Ohtani.
He's down on 3 strikes. Boy, you figure you're going to have a long home run in an inning that has Ha-Seong Kim and Shohei Ohtani bat in. Easy guess who's going to be the guy that hits it, right? No, it's Kim. Known for his speed and lately his average. But how about the pop right there? And how about the Dodgers today? 10-0. Austin Wells takes strike 1 from Landon Knack. Off we go in this 3rd inning. Max Muncy hits his 200th career home run. Ha-Seong Kim hits career home run number 2. And it is 10-0 LA as Wells serves the ball into center field for a base hit. First hit of the game for the Yankees. Back to Kim, who's having the time of his life here playing in the big leagues. In the tradition, when you hit a home run as a Dodger, you get the seed shower, getting back to home. Here's the only problem. They did too good a job of that seed shower. Got to dig him out. His interpreter, Joe.
Oh, man.
Leadoff man aboard, DJ LeMahieu. He takes strike 1. So the Yankees trying to find out what they have left. And DJ LeMahieu is one of the best hitters in baseball forever. The last few years diminished by the injuries. Another injury, first game of spring training this year, hurt his calf. So missed the first month and a half. And hitting just 179 since debuting.
No. Yeah, they need to find out if there's any magic left in that. What's really been one of those generational hitters when the shift had been in play and his ability to get hits. I want you to watch the front foot of Knack. Watch, you're going to see the heel. The hitter's going to see the heel. He's got it so turned in, it's locked in to his pitching mechanics. You just don't see that. That front foot makes that internal hip turn. I would think it's hard on him to make many throws to first base and that base stealers would have success. He hasn't pitched a ton yet, but that turned in kind of makes him already put in position to load up to throw to home because of his hips.
No.
Hurts. Well, it doesn't hurt my hip anymore. I got new hips. But to be able to be pronated like that and be able to unload to the plate, because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get that fastball downhill. He throws a little uphill with his front body. You just don't see that.
He's like the Corey Seager of pitching setups, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Corey Seager's front foot is like that.
You know, again, pitching and the hips and the lower body are so important, but I guess what they've done with him is put him in position so that there's less movement. He's already closed when he uses that foot to lock it in, and then all he has to do is go towards home plate.
First one. Here we go, Deeds.
That gets ready and comes home with a payoff. Popped out of his hand for ball 4. First 2 have reached for the Yankees. For more on Knack, here's Ken Rosenthal.
John, I'm not sure if you ever had this problem, but Landon Knack, as a rookie last season, found the available Major League food to be of such high quality. He finished the season overweight at about 230 pounds. He was feeling too sluggish on the mound, wasn't recovering quickly enough between starts, so he determined he had to lose weight. Well, he wanted to get to 215, but went a little too far. Got down all the way to 206. He's now at 210, which is better, but he's had to readjust to his new body, which is moving differently, more quickly than before. And he's spent the last 6 weeks working on his delivery, developing new, simple cues.
That would be one of them. So it's throughout his now almost year and a half in the big leagues, he's looked like a different guy.
Yeah.
You can find different versions of his delivery as he faces Bibas here. Yankees trying to chip away at this 10-run deficit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Back out of Johnson City, Tennessee. His excellent form last year, kind of under the radar at a 3.65 ERA. Pitched another 3 games in the postseason, including an unheralded thing in Game 4. Pitched 4 innings and saved the bullpen to be able to carry the load in the clinching Game 5. Well rested to go 7 2/3 that night.
Well, he's made some interesting pitch choices here with a 10-0 lead. And I'm not saying you just throw fastballs right down the middle, but that 3-2 walk is not one of those that you want to do when you've got 10 runs on the board. You want to make them earn their places on the bases, especially when you turn in the lineup over.
Big rip and a foul back from Bibas. Former Dodger farmhand Jorby Bibas traded to the Yankees for Trey Sweeney, who the Dodgers flipped over to the Tigers for Jack Flaherty. So in a roundabout way, Bibas helped the Dodgers win a World Series. On this 2-2, he smokes a liner up the middle that's caught by Kim, and a diving attempt at a double play comes up short. Well, it's Dave Roberts to take a look. And they're going to challenge. You can see why the fans here have grown to like him quickly.
Yeah. That one, what do you think? I can't see the monitor.
Los Angeles is challenging the safe call at second base.
Oh, he got him. Look at both of us leaning in with our noses on the monitor on this sunny day.
That is going to be a big double play.
And Kim, who grew up a Dodger fan in Korea, watching Hyunjin Ryu, of course Chan-Ho Park, the first big leaguer from Korea, a Dodger.
After review, the call of the field is overturned. The runner is out. Los Angeles is safe.
A highlight double play for the Dodger shortstop, and his first start of the season there in Mookie Betts' place. So he hits a home run in the bottom of the second, makes a double play by himself in the top of the third. And back to the top for Grisham. 2 double plays in 3 innings for Knack. It's a rare first pitch swing from Grisham. 4 years in San Diego, had some stretches where he was good offensively, but was weighted heavily to the walks. Still just as patient as anybody, but he has been hammering the ball. Top 5 in the league in slugging. His first year really seeing any time with the Yankees. Only started 50 games last year. Hit a .190. When you look at the numbers head-to-head, him and Soto, he's blowing Soto out of the water a couple months into this year. 890 OPS for Grisham, 750 for Soto. There's a pop fly into shallow center field for Andy Pages. Sun's gleaming. He's got it down to the bottom of the third in a 10-0 game.
Back here at Dodger Stadium with Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Dave, first off, Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, Kenny. This is a birthday win would be huge.
How important is it to win on your birthday? I mean, it can ruin the day if it goes the other way.
It actually can. It's a sickness that I have, that wins do kind of lead the joy in my life. I ride that roller coaster. But no, we're off to a good start. I think just offensively, Kenny, we just had a great plan today versus Warren. I thought we did a great job getting the ball up. You know, and I think the last two nights, beating the starter, I thought our offense did a fantastic job.
No Mookie Betts, and still you scored 10 runs in the first 2 innings. What does that tell you about your offense?
You know, I think that certainly it speaks to the talent, a team approach, being able to get a hit, take walks, the Will Smith at bat, you know, even Hae-Sung Kim at bat, you know, Tommy Edman, all across the lineup. And I think that we just show the depth that we have. And when we kind of stick to our plan, we can do anything and beat anyone.
Hae-Sung Kim, 2-run homer, big double play last inning. Dave, what has he brought to your club?
You know what? I think he's one of those guys, there's certain skill set of to catch the baseball, the speed ability, but this guy's a tough, gritty player. And I think that he was an all-star over there in the KBO, and to come over here, he's all in for whatever we ask. He's happy to be a Dodger, turn some opportunities down with other ball clubs. He was all in from the outset, and he's getting a little runway now, and he's showing he can impact the game.
Shohei Ohtani today, second time facing hitters. How is he looking?
He looks good. I think for me right now, it's been an every Saturday sort of situation. It was 30 pitch today. The command wasn't great, but he came out of it feeling good. He used all 4 of his pitches. So I think that's the main thing right now with Shohei. I don't have a timeline. I know that we're continuing to get closer. And once we get to 5 and 75, it'll be a real conversation. But it's certainly exciting for everybody to see Shohei on the mound and then go hit a homer. It's pretty bananas.
Finally, Mookie Betts. How is he doing?
You know what? It's a fracture. He's hanging in there. I know it makes him feel better that guys can pick up the slack and still score runs without him. So for me, it's day to day. I don't know when we're going to get him back. I don't think it's going to be an IL, but it kills him not to be here part of this series. But he'll be back soon enough.
Dave, thanks, and happy birthday again.
Thanks, Kenny.
Freddie Freeman's up there with one away in the third. He gets out of the way of Ian Hamilton's pitch, ball 3. How about the job Dave Roberts has done? And how about, John, the sliding doors? When you think of last year where the Dodgers are sitting down 2-1 in San Diego, 1 win away from the season ending, and perhaps his time as their manager ending if they lost that game and had another early exit. But they win that game with a bullpen game, and now here we are. He's got a 4-year extension.
Yeah, it's crazy. Expectations get in the way of really what's going on the field, and sometimes the results get mixed. And they showed a lot last year. I mean, ultimately, they won in an unconventional way. That wasn't the design when they put the roster together.
Popped into left field. Jason Dominguez is under it, and they retire Freeman for the first time.
But as he said, the guys had enough of the noise that was being around. They got isolated. They got together. They traveled by themselves. They did things differently. It was unorthodox in the way that they won, and they rallied around each other. And to your point, changed the dynamics here in Los Angeles.
I mean, it was, you think about everything that's come since then. The extension, the way they shaped the roster. And it was that close to ending early for a 3rd consecutive year. Will Smith fouls off first one from Hamilton. Another good day for Smith. Knocked in a run. He scored a couple. 3 hits and 4 runs scored over the first game plus of this series for the Dodger catcher.
No.
And Hamilton has put up zeros his last 2 games after a really rough first month or so. And he's ahead of Smith 1 and 2.
A reliever's job is, you just never know when you're going to come into a game, and I'm sure he didn't envision coming into a game down 10-0.
Not this early. 3rd inning. 10 runs for the Dodgers' first 2 innings. Most runs they'd scored through 2 innings in 4 years. pop up on the diamond, right side. And the first time they've faced fewer than 8 in an inning so far today. It's the Yankees and the Dodgers. Dodgers took a thriller last night. They turned this one into a laugher early in Game 2. Bring it back with our power players, sponsored by Harbor Freight. Superstar players, superhero type guys. Ohtani for the Dodgers, Aaron Judge for the Yankees. Ohtani's won 3 MVPs in 4 seasons. Looks like Judge perhaps headed for a 3rd in his career. Yeah, these guys facing off this weekend, both going deep yesterday. It's been Ohtani's Dodgers so far today. Judge going to make his mark right here with another massive home run. Number 20 for Aaron Judge, who's homered in both games in L.A. He is something else.
He is. He's not missing his pitches, and that's what you want when you go to a plate as hot as he is.
Yankees on the board on the 20th long ball of the year for Aaron Judge. It's Bellinger. No. When you look at the combination of ability, the average with the power, with the RBIs, and just everything he's doing. We've not seen a guy dominate in this well-rounded a fashion since Barry Bonds.
Yeah, and he doesn't get the Barry Bonds treatment yet. I think the longer this season goes and the more success the Yankees have, you have to think twice about pitching to him in certain situations.
Down to first to get Bellinger for the first out. Another look at his home run swing.
Fastball, middle in, short, but strong to the ball. Everything's slower now when you're in successful modes and you're having these streaks. The ball seems like it just floats and you're not trying to do too much.
Goldschmidt with one away. Pops it foul. How about Aaron Boone telling us he doesn't think Judge is even his hottest right now?
Yeah, he's probably had a more dominating stretch when he was ridiculous with the home runs that he was pouring out. But it's hard for me to imagine that we're sitting here on the cusp of June 1st and he's flirting with 400. That just doesn't even make sense.
And the power with the 20 home runs. 1 and 2 on Goldschmidt. For more on Judge, down to Kenny.
Guys, I spoke with Yankees hitting coach James Rowson yesterday, and I asked him, okay, what makes Judge so special? And he replied, he's never satisfied. He's always looking for an edge. And I said, James, all the great ones are like that. And he said, no, with him it's different. Rowson coached Miguel Cabrera in Detroit, Joe Mauer in Minnesota, both Hall of Famers. But with Judge, he says he doesn't take anything for granted. He doesn't necessarily view himself as one of the best players in the game. He just sees it as his responsibility to keep going, even when he's had success in the past against specific pitchers. The way Rowson put it, if the story was over today, it would be one of the greatest stories in baseball, and he's still writing the story.
Humility, pretty darn good foundation for him to become what he's become. Generational talent, and as well-rounded of an offensive player as the game has ever seen.
And fair or not, he's got a mountain to climb because his regular seasons have been historic, but all eyes will be on the postseason. And the postseason haven't quite gotten to the level where he expects it and the world expects it. He's going to make those changes. If you give him enough opportunities in the postseason, that trend will not continue.
165 average for Judge the last 2 Octobers. He struck out more than 40% of his plate appearances. And it's a bummer that one of the top things of his story right now is that, and it's the drop fly ball. It's unfair. It's cruel that that's just kind of how it's fallen out because of his greatness. I mean, that should be so far down the list when you talk about Aaron Judge. But until he does it in October, it'll still be something that gets talked about. He hits his 20th home run of the season, and he's got the Yankees on the board. Well, perfect day for baseball here in Los Angeles, and for Dodger fans, a perfect day of baseball with 10 runs over the first 2 innings, including a home run from this guy here in Max Muncy. His 5th this year, the 200th of his big league career. And part of a 2-for-2 performance as he continues to begin to surge after the slow start. Longest tenured position player for the Dodgers at this point in his 8th year. Joined the team in 2008. Mentioned his story a little bit last time. Cast off by the A's, comes over here to the Dodgers, and now top 10 in franchise history in home runs. Ian Hamilton comes home. Muncy skies it into shallow left field. Jason Dominguez is there. Horse racing's greatest test returns, Sovereignty and Journalism face off in the 157th Belmont Stakes. 2 of the season's biggest names in one race to settle it all, with coverage beginning next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern, live on Fox. From Saratoga Nash. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a guy. 10-1 game, bottom 4. Andy Pages flies it into shallow center field. This would be Anthony Volpe. 2 up and 2 down for Hamilton.
The Dodgers, like most teams, pretty good when they score 5 or more runs, but Dodgers are 25-5. Actually struggle for fewer, but their offense with runners in scoring position, everything that they've done today kind of exemplifies why they've overcome their lack of starting pitching innings. They have the least amount in all of baseball. And that's going to have to change. That trend has to change. They got to get guys healthy, and they got to get more innings. Otherwise, that bullpen, there's no way at the end of the season they're going to be standing upright.
Conforto here. Sac fly the first time. Walk his second time. I think you're touching on something with the offense, though. There have been years in recent past where they've been too home run reliant. It's gotten exposed in the postseason. This team not only hits the home run, but they're number 1 in the majors in batting average. They're number 1 with runners in scoring position as well. Dave Roberts is talking to us today about how many guys on this team know how to get a hit in a situation where that's all it calls for.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of skill that often shows up and wins games.
Absolutely.
October. Of course, home runs win in the postseason too, but got to have those guys that can give you the hit in the big spot when you need it. Both these offenses juggernauts to this point. They're right there with the Chicago Cubs as the top offenses in baseball over the first 2 months. No surprise for the Dodgers. The Yankees surprising some folks. Soto going elsewhere. Different look to the lineup. There's only 10 guys on this Yankees team today that was part of the World Series team. When we look at the lineup, very few guys that were staples. Part of that is the injuries. Stanton's still down. They're without Chisholm until probably Tuesday. A little more depth, though. The 1-2 to Conforto.
Well, you wouldn't know it by these first 2 games, but since May 4th, under 500 record for the Dodgers coming in this series, only 11-12, which you were talking about earlier, but come back last night in a show of dominance so far early in this game.
Trying to hand the Yankees their first series defeat in their last 8 series. Yankees come in having won 16 of their last 20 games. Danger of losing back-to-back games for the first time in almost a month. Still got a healthy lead in the division. It's like, who wants it outside of the Yankees in the East? Now Toronto and Tampa Bay have taken their turns getting hot more recently. What has happened to the Orioles, man?
Yeah. They just couldn't get pitching.
And the Boston Red Sox off to a sluggish start, below 500. Conforto draws the walk, his second one today. Here's Tommy Edman. And there's what you're talking about after that 8-0 start, the 2-game sweep in Tokyo to begin the season against the Cubs. A little bit above 500, middle of the pack since then. And the bullpen that has carried a big load. Edman 2 for 2 today.
No! He needed to get going a little bit. Those 2 hits probably helped his confidence as he was in a little bit of a funk.
Another guy like Tasker Hernandez took advantage of his audition last year, parlayed it into a long-term contract with the team. 5 years for Edman this offseason. 5 years in St. Louis. Got traded to the Dodgers at the deadline last year. Didn't make his season debut until mid-August because he was coming back from wrist surgery. Hurt his ankle during rehab. And man, let's see a monster in the postseason. One bounce to second. DJ LeMahieu to finish off the 4th in a couple scoreless innings for Ian Hamilton. Well, Johnny, the Dodger offense stealing the show today, but how about Landon Knack against the Yankees lineup? Just 1 run through 4 innings.
You know, he's done a nice job. Early he was struggling with command, wasn't throwing a lot of first pitch strikes. The lead really does help, obviously. It changes the format for what guys at the plate are trying to do, but he's really kept him off balance. He's given up a few 200 home runs the last couple games, or at least a home run in his last couple games, but here a solo home run to Judge is understandable.
Anthony Volpe leads off this top of the 5th for the Yankees. 0 for 1 today. The Dodgers starting rotation ranks 23rd in the majors. You've got Yamamoto, who's going to pitch tomorrow, who's been splendid. Early Cy Young conversation with a sub-2 ERA. Rest of the rotation, though, has a 5 ERA.
And that's understandable when you use this many players.
Volpe hits it hard down the line and just foul.
When you've used this many pitchers, and I don't know what their record is, but I would imagine they're approaching a record of different starters used in a season. And that was not the plan when the season started, but because they've had so many guys, it gives them the leverage of being able to utilize. I mean, that's just not the formula you want. You don't want 14 of your pitchers on the IL, and yet that's what they've had this year.
Well, it's great to have depth to tap into, but man, oh man, to exhaust that depth already 2 months in, they've used 13 different starting pitchers.
Yeah, if you put that on every team in baseball, the record would be flipped the other way. And that's kind of what Dave Roberts was saying. You know, would you expect an under 500 record when you give in the fact that you've got this many pitchers? He said, absolutely. That's where I thought we'd be. But, you know, I'm kind of excited that we're not in that position.
He said had you given him all the facts that we now have at the start of the season, he would have said, I would think we'd be about where Atlanta is.
Exactly.
You know, hold and serve around 500. No. Pretty tight zone right there from John Tumpane, drawing the ire of the birthday boy over there. Yeah, his nickname's Doc, and it's been for good reason with the way they've dealt with injuries. 14 pitchers on the injured list. They found out just yesterday that Evan Phillips is going to have to undergo Tommy John surgery, so they lose him. Their top 5 right-handed relief arms, all on the injured list. Emma Sheehan's somebody that's coming quickly, rehabbing currently. And they got Clayton Kershaw back recently. Strike one on Austin Wells. But what will they get from Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell? Roki Sasaki, too, down the stretch and when it matters most in October.
When the roster was put forth on paper, 110 victories was an easily achievable. I mean, people just were enamored with what they had and what they spent and what they got. But that paper has been crumbled up and thrown away until you can get them back healthy. Because when they're healthy, I would argue their staff could be as good as anybody's ever. But there's been a track record here now for a while of pitchers getting hurt and being injured, or signing pitchers that have been hurt and getting injured. And that has to change. If they're going to be a defending champ this year, they have to have those guys healthy come September.
They did it last year with, like you said, they were barely holding it together. You had Yamamoto coming back from injury to give him everything he had, really emerged in the postseason. Jack Flaherty, they got in a trade at the deadline. Where would they have been without him? And then Walker Buehler, when he performed in the World Series. Wells is down on strikes, one gone in the fifth. And to your point, it's not just this season. This is perennially the Dodgers dealing with pitcher injuries more than anybody.
They're aware of it. They've been talking about it, and I'm sure they're trying to do something about it, because that's not just bad luck. And they do have resources to take care of some of that. And a paper-thin margin is what happened last year. That cannot happen again. There's no way they can, teams just, they always want to build their back end of rotation and try to rely on it. They have 10 more relief innings than anybody in baseball. That trend has to flip in the second half. Ohtani can help a little bit there. And then the guys we mentioned coming back would absolutely help.
One ball, one strike on DJ LeMahieu. Kenny, it's never too early to start talking trade deadline, right? What do you think?
Never too early, Joe, but with the Dodgers, fans expecting them to add another starting pitcher probably will be disappointed. And the reason is this. Andrew Friedman, president of baseball operations, built this roster so he would not have to overpay at the deadline. It's something he hates doing. So that's why they built this incredible depth. That's why they're slow playing some of these injuries. They just feel that they're going to be ultimately in a strong enough position. We'll see.
Under the radar move recently, Alexis Diaz, who was an all-star closer for the Reds just 2 years ago, got DFA'd by Cincinnati. Dodgers just picked him up, sent him to AAA, trying to fix him. How many times have you seen a team, Dodgers also at the top of the list of that, taking a reliever who's experienced success earlier in his career and re-tapping into that, helping him rediscover it, and try to do that with Diaz, who's had filthy stuff when he was right.
Yeah. I'm just amazed at how many great arms they have. I mean, their bullpen. And we talked about this a little bit the run of last year. I knew there were going to be some circumstances they were going to have to deal with because of that. You just can't expect these guys to bounce back the amount of innings, the amount of stress at late in the year, and it certainly has showed itself in the bullpen. The bullpen's the reason they won. It was that good. And now the bullpen is showing kind of the scars from last year, and that's why they added some bullpen pieces.
Strike two coming on LeMahieu, two gone in the fifth. Yeah, the pen covered 60% of the innings in the postseason. He had the pen game to save their season in Game 4 down in San Diego. Pen game in the clinching game of the championship series against the Mets, and then clinching game of the World Series became one. Jack Flaherty got knocked out quickly.
And you know what? It's not hindsight now looking at it.
Bebos.
No. Dave Roberts knew they were not in a strong position, even if they had to go back to L.A. and play Game 6 and 7. That's why that game and the way he emptied and used his resources, he emptied everything to win that game. And Lott would say, being down 5 runs, what could possibly, how would that even come into play?
Bebos gets into this ball, deep center field. Pages on a dead sprint, turns and watches it hit off the wall. Bebos dives into second with a double.
Couple more push-ups, and this ball would have been gone.
Back to the top and Grisham. Yeah, the part of that Game 5 that, it gets focused on what unraveled in the fifth, but how dominant Cole had been to that point. It wasn't just the unraveling, it was how high things were looking for the Yankees at that point. They were going to be heading, but he had a no-hitter going, and it looked like there's a decent chance he might actually do it. They had Rodon lined up for Game 6 back in L.A., and then who knows in Game 7. A lot of questions on both sides leading up to this series this week and yesterday before the game. What do you remember about Game 5? What do you think about last year? And for all the Yankees, the talk is, yeah, it stings, but we just think we lost. And yeah, it's a bummer the way it happened in Game 5. But look back to Game 1. It's really hard to lose that game the way that they did and then recover. I mean, ask the New York basketball team right now as they try to recover after the way they lost Game 1 of that series against Indy.
The mental gymnastics that you have to play when you go deep, it's difficult. Because only one team's going to win. The other team's going to answer those questions all offseason. What if? Could have been. And that inning will be a historic inning, really, for a long time. We had a million what ifs when you play that many one-run games and lose that many times. And it eats you alive in the offseason. You come back the next season determined next time you're in that position to make the necessary changes.
2-2.
How about decades later? How often do those what ifs pop up?
Oh, they're always there. Sports is cruel. I mean, we talked about how cruel it is for Aaron Judge. It's the cruelest, most unfair 1% arguments that people make about the greatest players that necessarily don't have the greatest postseasons. I mean, you know the pressure that Rory McIlroy had in golf on not completing a major, and only 5 or 6 people ever done it, and it was like as if he was going to be a failure if he didn't do it, and he finally got it and relieved all the tension and the weight he was carrying.
Another 2-2 coming to Grisham, and another foul ball. Man, he did, that's a situation of a guy not just winning, but conquering.
Yeah.
So much mentally.
And that's what you have to do in this sport. You have to, it's hard not to pay attention to the noise and affect your game, but you really have to not pay attention to the noise and just put your head down and keep doing it till you do it right, till you get it.
Ooh, got the high strike call right there to strand a couple. Yankees have had the home runs in this series, but they're 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And the offense splendid today, but Landon Knack, a run over 5 innings against one of the best offenses in baseball. This is Mark Leiter Jr., who's not given up a run over his last 10 games. Got to save his last time out. This is upstairs with the first pitch to Ha-Sung Kim. Kim's had himself a day. A walk in the first inning. Absolutely drilled a home run his second time up. And he's got a highlight defensive play. He's got another base hit. Kim goes the other way to lead off the 5th. Good Hands Play, sponsored by Allstate. Taking a further look at Kim. Getting the start today at short with Mookie Betts out. Look at him stepping into the ball right there. It started in AAA as they tried to engage his lower half a little bit more in his swing. Never had hit for a ton of power. Has added that a bunch, shown it off in the big leagues, and has always been known for the glove.
He's got to be hitting over 500 at home now. I mean, he loves hitting at home, and this is a perfect time for him to make it a tough decision to not play him.
It's just where do you play him?
Yeah.
Good problem to have. But, I mean, his problem was, I'm going to have to go back to Oklahoma City. And he did enough when it looked impossible for him to stay to convince him to maneuver the roster otherwise. And he stays up. Tony's out in front. It's 0-2.
There's that pitch that Leiter has been successful with, is that splitter. Just 6 for 38, the league, coming into this game. And I'm telling you, the Dodgers have not seen this Ohtani pitch and hit yet.
Bouncing ball through the right right side in the second hit of the day for Shohei Ohtani. A couple singles to the right side of the infield. Kim streaks first to third.
And what I was going to say is there's got to be some regression when he gets back to being able to focus on pitching. Today he threw. All right. You wouldn't come to the park as a hitter and do something else other than your routine. Now that's something else. And when he ramps it up more, he's going to have days where he hits. And the challenge for Dave Roberts is going to be convincing him, hey, how about today off? Like big 5 innings. You need a reset. But he's so special. He believes this is the way he's meant to be.
Strike on Tasker Hernandez. Well, the last 3 years that he did do both, he had a top 5 ERA, and his OPS was second to Judge.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. He's 2 superstar players in one.
Yeah. And great point. But now 2 years have gone by. And it's
Another arm surgery.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see how he navigates all of that this time around.
In the air to right field, Cody Bellinger's there. Pretty shallow, makes the catch. Kim's not going anywhere. Ohtani, for his entire baseball life, pitching has been his favorite thing. You know, when he thinks of his identity, he thinks of it first and foremost as a pitcher. The story's been told about him writing the goals for his life and for his career back when he was in high school. All those were written from the standpoint of a pitcher. And so the idea of, man, should he just stick to hitting, and can he do it? Like, for him, there is no question.
Right.
I have to get back on the mound, and I have to do it at a high level.
Well, it's amazing.
First and third, one gone in this 5th inning. Freddie Freeman, the batter. Freddie Freeman, all those seasons in Atlanta, one of the best hitters in baseball. His average in his time in Atlanta was .295. He's been about 20 points better than that since coming to the Dodgers, but nowhere close to what he's doing this year. Down the line, he's got another base hit. 370 and going up. The average for Freddie Freeman. Kim in to score on a Freeman double.
Well, right on cue. There's no way to defend him. He's got line-to-line power. He can hook it right past the first baseman, who was tight on the line. This is how hard he hits it. And he can hit it the other way. I mean, there's 3 feet between the first base and the first baseman, and he gets it done.
11 runs on 11 hits for the Dodgers today. Will Smith 1 for 3. In on him, foul. Headed to a 3rd consecutive All-Star game. You'd figure that's a formality at this point with the way he's performed. Not just one of the best catchers, but one of the best hitters, period, in the National League so far. And the best team in baseball with runners in scoring position, doing it again in the series, above 500. Ohtani at 3rd, Freeman at 2nd. A 1-1 pitch to Will Smith. This popped down the line, foul. Long-term contract for Will Smith at the start of last season. 30 years of age in his 7th year now with the team. Signed a 10-year extension. Dodgers knowing what they have. Steady hand, Will Smith. Have him signed through his age 39 year.
I just love how they brought him up in the game. When he was called up, they saw the playoffs. They just started preparing him for what he is absolutely doing right now. The Dodgers do that very well with their young players. That's why they have so many young stars.
No.
Call him up, let him see the success, teach him the ropes, and then hand it to him. And now he's got the reins.
And when you say call him up, they brought him up before he was even on the team and just let him be around.
Exactly.
A year before he debuted. Pokes this one off the end of the bat. Runners will stay put. 2 out. So the Yankees got Mark Leiter at the deadline last year from the Cubs and took him a bit to find his footing. Started to perform in the postseason. Yeah, he's been one of their top relief arms lately. Really outside of Devin Williams, who you figure is going to find it sooner rather than later, and has been better for the most part lately. This bullpen's been good. Sub-3 ERA outside of Williams.
No.
2 for 3, 4 knocked in for Max Muncy today. Chance for more here in the 5th.
No.
De Los Santos, who warmed earlier, back in the first inning, going to warm again as Muncy leans on one. If it stays fair, he's got his second of the game and the 201st of his career. Off the foul pole. 14 for the Dodgers over the first 5 innings against the Yankees. Came into the day with 4 on the season, and he's got 2 today.
Crazy day so far in the game with double figures scoring.
They mentioned the Brewers and the Rays teeing off today. Now the Dodgers doing the same. That's it for Leiter. 14-1. Muncy does it again. His second today, 3rd for the team. Dodgers rolling on Baseball Night in America. Max Muncy, 2 home runs in this game today. Part of the 14-run explosion for the Dodger offense, and still just in the 5th. Yerry De Los Santos. He's pitched in both games in this series now. Had a rough go of it yesterday. His 5 hitters, 3 of them got hits. Was charged with 2 runs. Now to face Andy Pages. Pages, the only guy in the lineup for the Dodgers today yet to score a run.
No.
One of those days you look forward to finishing for the Yankees. One of those days, baseball being an everyday grind becomes a good thing. Do it again the next day. Turn the page as quickly as possible. Carlos Rodon going to go for the Yankees in the finale. They're going to have to do it against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, though. Fantastic matchup. The guys will have on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Carl Ravitch, David Cohn, Eduardo Perez. And actually, it's going to be Ryan Yarbrough tomorrow. Still a good matchup, though, with the way Yarbrough has pitched lately. Former Dodger.
Funky. 2 marquee teams, 3 games, 3 different networks. 3 different times.
No.
2-out walk for Pages. Second weekend in a row, Dodgers have had that be the case. Had it against the Mets last weekend. Speaking of the Mets, here comes Conforto. Man, you remember early on in Michael Conforto's career, he was getting to the big leagues a little before Aaron Judge was, and there was some time on talk radio there. Who would you rather have? Conforto, this kid coming up, killing it as a rookie, helping lead him to the World Series, or the Judge guy coming up for the Yankees?
It's crazy, right? Because Aaron Judge is in that rarefied place where we don't have a lot of examples of guys his size having success. You know, baseball has kind of positioned your players, and 6'8" just doesn't come around very often.
Certainly doesn't come around and do the things he's done. 14-1 as Muncy goes off the foul pole for his second today. On a day where the Yankees as a whole have fallen flat, Aaron Judge has done his thing. One run came on a home run from him.
14-1, I wouldn't suggest always starting off with a curveball, but I would here. Oh, man. He did it. He challenged him right at him, and I think Judge was maybe even expecting a curveball.
I'm thinking, you're thinking, I'm thinking. Back-to-back fastballs, 0-2.
That shows me something.
From Knack?
Yeah.
This is back-to-back good outings for him. He went into his start against New York, the Mets, on Sunday with a 6 ERA for the year. Gave up just 1 earned run over 6 innings. Same deal going into the 6th here against the other New York club. Take a look at StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. The 2 home runs for Aaron Judge in this series. First inning home run yesterday, and he got one in the 4th today.
I don't even need that other statistic to know that I think those would have been home runs in every ballpark.
Even Comerica.
Even there.
Little spinner foul by the bag. Got some defensive changes. Dave Roberts seeing the score, saying here's a chance to get some of my regulars off of their feet. So Kim plays 2 positions. Kim actually in center. Rojas at short. Pages over to right field. And Kike Hernandez has come into the game to get Freddie Freeman out. Judge launches this ball to left center field. Smacks against the wall. On his way to second. Here comes the throw from Kim. It is in time, and have a day, Ha-Seong Kim.
This ball was hit so hard that it bounced right back to him. Easy throw to second. Great tag. It's the Dodgers and Dave Roberts' birthday. They're having a party.
How about Kim throwing a party of his own with a home run? A web gem at short. Then he moves over to center field and does that as Bellinger goes the other way with his first hit of the weekend. Kim, fairly new to the outfield, played it a little bit in Korea, but he's a lifelong infielder. Showing off it doesn't matter where you put him.
And just a great tag to find the cleat. See, he hits the first cleat in the air. And you got to know, he knows who's coming in behind him. There's some big old spikes coming up.
You can feel him coming, probably.
Yeah.
The ground shaking. Strike on Goldschmidt. So Judge with his second hit of the day, back-to-back multi-hit games this weekend. Thrown out, trying to turn the single into the double. Wave and a miss at that change.
Well, all the other starters besides Yamamoto have averaged under 5 innings pitched. So this has got to be a nice treat for Dave Roberts to have his starter not named Yamamoto go into the 6th inning.
We mentioned Knack did it last Sunday. If he can do it here, it'd be the first time in his career that he goes 6 full innings, consecutive starts. Pop fly, right side. Kike Hernandez, and the ball has found 2 of the guys that had new positions in this inning. 2 out in the 6th. 5 Ks in this game for Knack. 2 of them have been of Dominguez looking. Just didn't seem to see that fastball over the inner part of the plate both times. And it's a change, getting a swing and a miss. 2 different versions of that changeup Landon Knack's been throwing this year. He's got the traditional one that he actually ditched at the start of the year for what he's calling his kick change. It really dives away from left-handed hitters, but has brought the old change back as a compliment to it.
Well, the reason that pitch is so good, it makes his fastball, which is not 97 and doesn't have electricity behind it, but makes it firmer, and it gets on the hitter after seeing that changeup.
He's home with an 0-2. Was the kick change right there. You can tell moving side to side more. Another one more front to back.
You see all that two-seam kind of movement.
No.
Yankees 0 for 8 against his changeup today.
No in.
Statistically, they've been the best changeup hitting team in baseball this year. Anthony Ponda warming in the Dodger bullpen with Knack at 100 pitches. 2 gone here in the 6th. Here's his 2-2 to Dominguez.
No.
Well, we'll see a 3-2 if he tries to lock him up on a fastball inside. He's had 2 strikeout looking. Tried to do it before that changeup right there. Probably his last pitch, last batter.
Here's his payoff. Right down the middle for strike 3. Finishing his day with his 6th strikeout, and he's gone 6 full in back-to-back games for the first time in the big leagues. All Dodgers here in Game 2 of this World Series rematch. 14-1 as Tommy Edman leads off. Strike 1 against Yuri De Los Santos. Edman 2 hits today after he doubled and scored a run yesterday. Trying to get going again after missing time with the ankle injury. This is the side of the plate that throughout his career has been the much weaker side, although this year this has been the better side of the plate for him. Started switch hitting as a kid, playing wiffle ball games with his family because he wanted to be exact in mimicking full major league lineups. And he says, I can't do that if I'm only hitting right-handed. So he taught himself how to hit lefty too. From La Jolla, California to Stanford, to the St. Louis Cardinals, and now his 2nd year with the Dodgers. Leading off this 6th. Punches a bouncer with eyes down the line. His 3rd hit. He'll hang on with a single to start the 6th. Hit him where they ain't for Tommy Edman.
Well, what do you think got your season going when somebody might ask? It might be this game. Yeah. 3 hits. It always feels better when you can execute, even when it's hits like that.
5 hits in his first 10 games off of the injured list, and those 3 of them today. Kim's got a perfect day going in every sense, whether it's been at short or in center or at the plate, where he's 2 for 2 with a home run and a walk. The average for the year up to 395. Into left center field, another hit for Kim, and the day stays perfect. How about this guy?
Well, you said, where's he going to play? I bet you he's going to play tomorrow.
Somewhere. Find a way, Skip. And instead of Shohei Ohtani, Another one of the recent call-ups. This is Dalton rushing. Top prospect in the Dodgers system. Problem for Dalton is that he's a catcher, and that spot is occupied by Will Smith. And so while it's not quite a timeshare, he still is going to get a couple starts a week. And perhaps could play a role as a DH, like you're talking about when Ohtani comes back and begins pitching. Does he get more days completely off? Spine will find rushing. 250 over his first 2 weeks in the big leagues.
So you're telling me the Dodgers are feeling like they're not rushing him?
That one you did mean to do.
Yeah, 100%.
That one for sure you had lined up. You saw the roster, you're like, oh, baby, I can't wait for Saturday. Now, for more on rushing, here's Kenny.
Well, I talked with him before the game, Joe, and this is the first time in Dalton Rushing's life that he has not played every day. So clearly it's an adjustment, but he's enjoying being around major league players, enjoying being mentored by Will Smith, who also went to the University of Louisville. And what's interesting about his future is he could be the everyday left fielder next year if the Dodgers do not re-sign Michael Conforto. The problem with that is if you give up on him as a catcher, you're perhaps compromising his values. So that's a decision down the line, but right now he's soaking it all in.
Showing off a pretty advanced approach at the plate.
Yeah, looks hitterish. Really does, right? I mean,
payoff. A pop-up back of third. Bebas called off by Volpe. Well, the book closed, you would figure, on Landon Knack. 6 innings, just 1 run against the top offense in the American League.
did a nice job. Got a double play early in the first inning, and then his team responded with 10 runs in the next 2.
And the kid from Tennessee with a bow to the boy from Korea. Kike Hernandez comes up. First at bat of the day for him. Hernandez having a nice season after a slow start. He's above 300 over the last month. Wraps a base hit into left field. They go station to station, and the bases are loaded, which it feels like has been the case pretty much perpetually today. Game summary sponsored by PNC Bank. Dodgers did not waste any time. 10 runs the first 2 innings, the most runs scored through 2 innings for the Dodgers in 4 years. 2 home runs for Muncy today. Freeman and Ohtani doing it again. And 1 bright spot for the Yankees, Aaron Judge with his 20th home run. Another pitching change coming as Aaron Boone heads out there. Back in a moment. Bottom 4, Reds up 2-0. Did Ellie get a new helmet?
Craving more baseball? Just tell Siri. Show me today's MLB schedule.
Yeah, we're headed to Bristol Motor Speedway coming up this summer for some baseball.
I think that's going to be pretty darn cool. I didn't know how they were going to do it, and then after seeing the renderings.
You and me going to get to do the pace car at some point?
I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. Even if I have to
break in
and take a car.
Yeah, forget the pace car. Let's get the real car.
Yeah.
Get the pace car out of the way. Let's go. Miguel Rojas, bases loaded here. First at bat of the day. Devin Williams on for the Yankees. No. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, Williams is one of the big pickups this offseason for the Yankees. 1.86 ERA in 6 years in Milwaukee, but lost the closer duties first month into the job. No. Got his first save opportunity in a month on Tuesday against the Angels and got the save, but gave up 2 runs in that game. Barely able to hold on. One of the top relievers in baseball, though, since he debuted. The Yankees are hoping he can rediscover that.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's awfully difficult. You go from a small market where he's had success, and you go to the biggest market where there's going to be not only expected success, superhuman success. And he's gotten off to a little bit of a rocky start, as you mentioned, but I think he'll right that ship, because that pitch right there is what has made him so dynamic. You got to throw strikes with your fastball. You still have to do that. But when you can throw a 3-1 pitch like that and get a hitter to swing and miss, you know it's a really, really good pitch.
The airbender, they call it. And when your pitch is so good he gets a nickname, you know it's something different. Grounded to third. Bibas will go to second for 1. Over to first, a double play. And so Williams comes on and strands the bases loaded, sends this game to the 7th. Anthony Volpe heads up there to lead things off. Facing off with Anthony Banda. You can stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season, plus live audio for all 30 teams. No blackouts. Includes access to the minor leagues, MLB Big Inning, and available pre- and post games. MLB.com/@bat for details. So Banda takes over for Knack here in the top of the 7th inning and comes home to Volpe. Banda had a career year last year for the Dodgers. Was huge in the postseason against the Yankees. Pitched in 4 of the 5 games in the World Series. Didn't give up a run. And this year's not quite gone as well. That ERA above 4. Another one of those guys that was heavily worked on the stretch last year. And went from a 3 ERA in the regular season last year to above 4 so far this year. Volpe, Wells, and LeMahieu for the Yankees here in the 7th. Volpe's 0 for 1 with a walk. Lone run for the Yanks coming on a Judge home run back in the 4th. 6 innings from Knack, really good today. A strikeout for Banda. And these Yankees are back on Baseball Night in America next weekend as they face off at the Red Sox. It'll be back-to-back weekends. Yankees and Red Sox go head-to-head. Boston the weekend after that. Check your local listings for the game in your area. 7:30 Eastern on Fox next Saturday. Rafael Devers, all the drama at the start of the season. He at this point is about the only good thing going for the Red Sox, who got shut out today by the Braves, falling 4 games below 500.
It's been a strange, streaky year for Boston. We're over a third of the way, right, through the season. And I'll pose an interesting. Let's play a little. Do they remain, or
I love it.
We got divisional leaders with the Tigers, the Yankees, and a tie with Seattle and Houston. Do you see any changes that will happen with those divisions when it's all said and done?
Well, give me a team out of Mariners, Astros.
All right, let's go Seattle.
Okay. I think the Rangers are going to win that division.
Okay. The Rangers, if they find offense, 100% love their pitching staff. They haven't scored, and they've got the brother of Aaron Boone as their new hitting coach. It gets a little more interesting in the National League. You got the Cubs, the Dodgers, and currently, okay, right there, a tie between the Mets and the Phillies. So let's say Phillies Cubs, Dodgers, current division leaders.
I'm going to say those are the division winners in the National League. I'm going to go back to the American League, though, and say somebody else wins the Central. I'm not completely sold on Detroit yet.
Interesting. That's interesting. They're in a good mode right now, and that's the beauty of being over a third of the way. Teams are going to make moves, right? They're going to have. It's going to change the direction after the All-Star break. But in the American League East, the Rays got hot, the Blue Jays got hot, and the other two teams in that division have kind of lost momentum with the Red Sox.
Yeah, the Yankees have the largest division lead in baseball with 6 games coming in. How about them Tigers, though? 38-21, building off of how they finished last season, making a run to the postseason. Tarek Skubal making a case for back-to-back Cy Youngs. How about guys like Spencer Torkelson, Javi Baez, who you figured, you know, they had their chance and they were done, re-emerging this year. Then 2 on LeMahieu. Bonda trying to strike out the side. Now, Kenny, what do you think?
I'll give you 2 teams in the American League that I still see as formidable. The first is Minnesota. They've pitched extremely well. If they can keep Correa, Buxton, and Royce Lewis on the field together, look out. The second, the Houston Astros. Here they are again. Alvarez is still out. Turns out he has a fracture in his hand, and yet they have all these pitching injuries. And amazingly, they are still in contention, big-time contention, in the AL West.
That is amazing. I mean, they credit their organization and what they've done, and to be in this spot, losing the amount of players they did, and just really they're not giving up. They're just.
Who do you have lurking there that's not a first-place team that's going to make a run?
I think St. Louis has gotten awfully interesting.
Yeah,
They went from not being relevant to a long winning streak. Sonny Gray is having a fantastic season. I think St. Louis is going to push the Cubs, who are having a really good season as well. And then I know the Braves are 8.5 games out, but if they can get a little continuity going with Acuna back and Strider, it's going to make for a great American National League East.
Got off such a terrible start. Bibas grounds it foul after the 2-out walk from LeMahieu. Here's the Central. We're talking about the Cardinals getting hot this month, but how about the Brewers, who won their 6th consecutive game today?
Yeah, how do they keep doing it? What a great job, that organization. And I mean, we just saw one of their prize closers over here with the Yankees. They lose all of their players, it seems like, at some point.
Every year. They lose guys,
tease their fans and win baseball games.
Yep. And then there's the Reds, who a lot of people coming into the year were picking to win that division.
No. I agree. I thought that they went through one of the worst stretches offensively there early in the season. Could not score a run. And yet they're 500 at least. They're playing close to 500 baseball.
Grounded to first. Kike Hernandez to the bag. We stretch in Los Angeles. All Dodgers tonight. Welcome back to Los Angeles. We take a look at Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. Giving Will Smith an 80% chance. Wow. That's high, Google. Thank you, though, for powering these real-time insights. Luke Weaver's on the pitch. This is the Yankees closer, but desperate times given the pitching situation today, calling for him to come into a 13-run game. They got just 1 1/3 from their starter, Will Warren. And so Weaver, the 7th guy they've used.
I still can't get over 80%.
Yeah, I know. Hey, he's having a good year, but my goodness. 1 for 4 today, hitting above 400 the last few weeks. No. Couple new defenders in the game. Oswald Peraza comes into short, and J.C. Escara.
Did Google know
space.
Weaver was coming in?
I don't know if they knew that. This guy's good. We're going to see just how smart.
Well, it just went to 39%.
Down 1-2. This is the best two-strike hitter in baseball, though. Might be 40%. Humans are still the best.
Yeah.
Love humans. One gone in the 7th. Now, Luke Weaver, what a story this guy is. Former first-round pick, top prospect as a starting pitcher. Now 31 years old in his 10th year. He had never had a save until the end of last season. He's their closer for the postseason run. And then they go trade for Devin Williams. They say, thanks for your service as the closer, but you're now going to be a setup guy. No, a month into the year, he's right back into that closer role. And he misses the first one to Muncie.
Yeah, baseball is a crazy sport. It's a long season. So many things can change. You always have to be ready. You never know when your moment's going to come. And for Luke Weaver, he might be in the prime of that right now, and how he's really turned his career into a severe weapon for the New York Yankees.
Two-home-run day for Max Muncy. Hooks this ball to right center field. Bellinger there to cut it off. 2 out. Why not show those 2 home runs? The first one that he hit was the 200th of his career. It's another scary thing thinking about these Dodgers, the way they've been clicking these couple days without Mookie Betts, for a lot of this season without Max Muncy doing what he always does for him.
Yeah, look, Edman was struggling. Muncy was struggling. Again, you never know what game is going to turn it around, get a guy hot. It's virtually impossible to have 6 out of your 9 hitters clicking all the time, right? It just doesn't work. But if you don't have to rely on the same 3 or the same 4 at the top, and you start getting balance, whew, man. Now you can see why the Dodgers are the favorites based on the beginning of the season with their roster.
Pages, only guy in the starting lineup that has not scored a run in this game. He's got 2 walks, but yet to touch home plate. Second-year big leaguer out of Cuba. You buying what you're seeing from Pages this last month?
I am, because I think when you struggle and the expectations are kind of high for yourself, and you get through that struggle and you get on a nice stretch, you realize that you can get out of anything. You know, it's the guys that have never really been able to bounce back from deep holes. It's something goes in your system and your brain where you go, I can overcome. Like I've been down and out. I've been 0 for my last 16. My manager believes in me. He told me just to go be athletic. So yes, I do. I think when you get through it and you see the success on the other end, plus, he's one of the best video game players of baseball that we have.
And by that, you mean playing the video games himself.
MLB The Show.
Yeah.
Knows all the trends of all the pitchers.
Yeah, it's not even fair. Guys playing them, playing them online like, who is this dude? That's hit hard to left center field, headed for the seats and gone. Well, now everybody in the lineup has scored a run today. And for Andy Pages, he's done so with his 10th home run of the year. He liked to play with himself on the video games lately.
Right on cue.
Conforto, first pitch, pops it up. Shallow center field. Peraza's out there. He makes the call. And the catch. Andy Pages with his 4th home run in his last 15 games into double digits for the year. Joining the party on Dave Roberts' birthday, 15-1 after 7. Your team, your players, baseball your way. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app today. Got a Dodger debut coming here in the top of the 8th inning. Chris Stratton, who they just picked up from Kansas City. Bit of a soft landing for him, too. 14-run lead. Protect, strike 1 on Trent Grisham. Stratton, a former first-round pick of the Giants 13 years ago. Made it up to the big leagues with the Giants. Pitched pretty well first couple seasons. Has bounced around in the years since. Last 2 years with Kansas City. And Dodgers hoping to make him a latest reclamation project.
Here we go.
So 1-2 on Grisham.
Well, the Dodgers are on 21-1 run since the Yankees were leading 5-2 yesterday. You're not going to see that very often against 2 great teams.
Judge is on deck. Don't change the channel, please. Foul tip into the glove. Strike 3. Stratton strikes out Grisham. And now here comes Judge. 2 more hits for him today, including his 20th home run of the year.
Oh, he's all the way down to 391.
Man, what is wrong with Aaron Judge?
Slumping.
Sends a high fly ball to left center field. Has he gotten another? You bet he has. Aaron Judge, number 21 of the year.
Well, it's the Dodgers 15 and Aaron Judge 2.
Man, oh man. On a day where the Yankees fall flat as a team, Judge still stands tall. 3 hits, including 2 home runs. 3 of them this weekend for the Yankee captain.
You know, Aaron Boone could have easily taken his star out and rested him, get him off his feet. I'm glad he didn't. You get in rhythm, you stay in rhythm, carryover effect. And he talked about Aaron Judge now knows these last couple years how to navigate a 162-game season, whether he's completely healthy or not. And he has definitely gotten to that level in his career where it's over. He has got to get called up to a higher league.
That's right. Him and Ohtani can share the.
They really should.
Yeah.
They should get called up to a higher league. That's what all the players will say when you see someone that great having a season like that. They say, you got to get called up, son.
No Judge today, 3 for 4, 2 home runs. Rest of the Yankees 3 for 21. And in an era where it's relative to the rest of the league, what he's doing hit 390. It's just that much more impressive. An era where the league's hitting 240. trying to give a run at a Triple Crown, which has only been one of the last 57 years in the American League. Miguel Cabrera.
And that continues a trend that will have to change for the Yankees, but all 7 runs have been on via the homers.
The Dodgers above 500th runners in scoring position this weekend, plus the pop. Aaron Boone's team going to suffer back-to-back losses for the first time in almost a month, and a series loss for the first time in a month. Got the Guardians coming in on Tuesday as they open a new homestand. Supposed to get Jazz Chisholm back. Sounds like Chisholm's going to play third base, which he started playing for the Yankees last year. LeMahieu to stay at second. Bellinger to left. Conforto. Another look at Judge's second today.
Breaking ball. And I mean, we've seen this for the last 3 years. Majestic.
AL record.
So much so that the opposing manager could just say, wow.
Yeah. Strike on Escara. 62 for Judge. Set the American League record in 2022. Hit 58 last year. Pace up around there again. One of a handful of guys that already has 3 50 home run seasons in his career. Nope. Pretty good company. Escara on the ground. Rojas gets there to his feet to first. Got him. Miguel Rojas, one of the best fielders in the National League, makes a nice play there to finish off the top of the 8th. With the one shining star for the Yankees today, the biggest star, Aaron Judge, with 2 home runs. Already 15 for the Dodgers, and licking their chops for more here with a position player into the game to pitch. Pablo Reyes floats in strike 1 on Tommy Edman. It's his 5th career pitching appearance, and he's got a 2.25 ERA. Veteran utility man. In his first season with the Yankees, 31 years of age, out of the Dominican Republic. Try and cover the final 3 outs of this game. Or a quick pitch to Edman there. He's got a big hit to right and a 4-hit day.
Do you know how hard that is to do as a hitter? I mean, that is incredible. That can get you in a funk right there. Watch this. He's just going to quick pitch it and lob it. And Edman puts the foot down and just is able to hit the ball where they're not.
Tommy came into the day 5 for 35 in his first 10 games off of the injured list. He's 4 for 5 today. And now Kim down the line. He's got another hit. That's his 4th. So the 8 and 9 hitters for the Dodgers have combined for 8 hits.
Incredible.
Well, there are 2 things that Kim didn't do a ton of in his offensive game in Korea. Hit for power, which we've seen him do today, and hit the ball the other way, which he's done more than anything since getting to the big leagues. Here's Rushing sending a high fly ball to deep right field, and his first major league home run comes against Pablo Reyes.
Well, I was going to ask you if the Dodgers end up with the most runs today, but it's a moot point. Looks like they have.
Yeah.
18. Brewers had 17.
Oh, you mean across baseball?
Yeah, the Rays had 16.
Now, if you're rushing, are you saying, man?
No.
You don't even care how you go.
No.
Give me,
That feeling's too good. It's actually harder to do against an eephus pitch than it is against velocity.
Yeah, hitters will tell you, like the ceiling on a situation like this, you hit a home run, everybody's like, yeah, you did what you're supposed to. The fans sitting there watching it. It's much harder than it looks. So the floor is so low when you're facing a position player, because sometimes it doesn't work, and it's humiliating when it doesn't, no matter how hard it is. Hernandez swats his second hit the other way. Well, in the previous 4 appearances for Pablo Reyes, he had not given up a home run. Gives one up to Rushing.
Okay, 23 hits. Sheesh. We got to play a different game. Like 23 hits was the first. I think that's what Milwaukee had. So that's the high.
Okay, Dodgers at 20.
At 20. Google. Let's ask Google what the percentage of
Give him a chance at redemption.
Now,
Pablo's saying, come on, John. John Tumpain, not you, Smoltz. If I get it close, give me a strike. Wow, down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. Foul.
Yeah, the Brewers had 23 hits. Let's see what the Rays had.
Into left. Wow. Dominguez has it. Well, tomorrow the fastest racing on earth hits the streets of the Motor City for the Detroit Grand Prix. The IndyCar season continues tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern on Fox after the spectacle that was the Indy 500 last weekend.
Hey, Google could still be right. They are.
There we go. Smith has his second hit, and the computers win.
80%.
There you go. Oh, they knew.
They do. Why did we give up on Google?
Why did we taunt AI?
That was just crazy of us.
It is. Send us to oblivion. There you go.
There it is.
Feel the computer's getting smarter by the minute. All right, you know, Muncie's up there looking for one thing, and that
sure is
20 home run game.
All right, now he's gonna gas him one. He's gonna see if Muncie's ready.
Charted as a changeup. Max had his chance. Oh, he's saying. Pages went deep his last time. At third, Bibas. And Pablo Reyes limits the damage. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @playball on social media. Kike Hernandez now pitching the 9th inning for the Dodgers as Jason Dominguez flies one over Conforto. And a second with the double goes Dominguez. They made that helmet for Bobby Miller after Bobby Miller got hit by a comebacker. Bobby didn't want to wear it. Kike said, I'll use it. And it's his second pitching appearance this year, and he's rocking the helmet. Dodgers-Yankees World Series rematch has devolved into position players pitching for both teams in the final half inning. No.
I'm just not a fan of it.
You would have looked good like that.
And I understand why people do it.
Rushing's at first time in the big leagues. Peraza's first at bat today came on for Volpe. Stopped at third by Muncy. One gone in the ninth. This is Hernandez's second pitching appearance this year. Pitched a scoreless inning the first time. So that helmet has a perfect ERA. Now the Yankees in danger of losing by 16 runs for the first time in 6 years. Wells past Hernandez. Rojas is there. 2 out.
He's got the slow eephus pitch curveball down pat.
LeMahieu, 2 gone in the ninth inning. Popped into center field. Kike Hernandez will pitch a scoreless ninth inning and put the finishing touches on an absolute blowout. Dodgers 18, Yankees 2.
Didn't see this coming.
Wow. 18 runs on 21 hits on a day where they're without Mookie Betts. And the Dodgers in the World Series rematch have taken this series from the Yankees, handing the Yankees their first series loss in nearly a month. Like we were talking earlier, this is a situation where if you're the Yankees, today's a good day to know that you got to do it again tomorrow. A chance to wipe this clean and move on quickly. Ryan Yarbrough started on Sunday Night Baseball. Yoshinobu Yamamoto countering for the Dodgers. Happy 53rd birthday to Dave Roberts, whose team improves to 36-22 for this blowout win. Ken Rosenthal has Max Muncy.
Thanks, Joe. Max, congratulations. Home runs 200 and 201 today. You had 4 entering this game. What changed today?
Well, on the one, I finally hit it fair. I think I've hit about 10 of those balls this year that have been fouled by about 3 or 4 feet. So finally kept one of them fair. Just trying to get the ball up in the zone. Know they were going to, throw a lot of soft stuff, and just got some good swings off.
End of spring training 2017, you get released by the Oakland A's. Now you're 8th on the Dodgers all-time home run list. If I had told you all this was going to happen back then, what would you have said?
I'd have thought you were crazy. It's definitely a blessing. I'm honored to have been able to hit as many home runs as I have wearing a Dodger uniform. Hopefully I got a lot more in me, and hopefully we got a lot more wins like today in us.
Max, congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny. Never a doubt today. Dodgers get 4 runs in the first inning, 6 runs in the second, and cruise from there. The post-game show coming up. Kevin Burkhardt and the guys down in the field ready to recap this. Hey, best wishes to the guys on TNT. It's looking like Indy's going to finish off that series, which means tonight going to be your last chance, once you finish watching us, to watch Ernie Johnson, one of the greatest post-game shows in sports television history. 18-2 Dodgers on Baseball Night in America.
Well, this World Series rematch has been all Dodgers so far. They win last night, and they pummel the Yanks tonight on Baseball Night in America. A 21-hit attack sunflower seeds flying everywhere. And yeah, the Dodgers love it, L.A. And the warm day has turned into a cool, beautiful night, and the Dodgers feeling pretty good. Usually do when you score 18 runs on 21 hits. Poppy's got the dance going. Feeling good right now. Welcome to the postgame show. Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So this was a whitewash. Dodgers had 5 home runs. You name it, they did it. Biggest takeaway so far from this World Series rematch, Al?
Yeah, just a few, KB. Not much from the game, but it's obvious the best 2 players and most exciting players in the world are Ohtani and Judge. The American League is the JV. The National League is the varsity. And the title, fellas, has to come through L.A.
Well, 2 games, and it's like it has been just definitely a beat up. And if you want to face this Dodgers, especially now that they have pretty much 14 players in the DL as of right now, and you still can't beat them, you better fix something. You got to figure something out, D.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, the depth of the Dodgers, the National League is a superior league than the American League right now, and you never know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. It might not be the same 2 teams once we get into August and September, but as it stands now, the Dodgers have the better team.
Couple of notes. Freddie Freeman. So I know Max Muncy drove at 7. He was the big star, a couple home runs. But Freddie Freeman, just a couple more knocks. He's batting a cool 374. And you mentioned Judge in defeat. Guy's ridiculous. 3 more hits, 2 home runs. He's now batting 398 on the season as we go to June.
And keep in mind, Kevin, he's doing this as a power right-handed hitter who necessarily doesn't fly down the line. So he's not getting Ichiro hits. And he's facing 70% right-handed pitchers. And I don't know what to say. I'm out of.
He's locked in. He's focused. These games are not easy to play in.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're losing, you're down that many runs. But he locks in on every single at bat. He's on every pitch. He's not chasing anything in the zone. He does damage. He got thrown out at second base trying to get a double because he hit it too hard. That's all we were talking about. Is just how hard he hit it. But he's locked in. He's fun to watch. And that's why I said earlier, he's at a whole nother level.
Dodgers offense continue doing damage, even if they have so many pitchers on the DL. Look out for the Dodgers with this offense. I mean, it has been unbelievable. And tonight, I mean, they show everything they got.
And KB, a little bit with Garrett Cole. You don't need him usually against pedestrian teams, but it's obvious when he's not in, you got to put in a pitcher like Will Warren. Tough matchup for him. You need a full stack to beat the Dodgers, and that may not be enough.
Dodgers offense so good the first 2 games, and tonight in 21 hit attack, 18 runs on a rout of the Yankees. We're here in L.A. We know the Dodgers playing well as usual, and there's traffic, Big Poppy. You are our traffic reporter.
Oh my God, what people are still doing here?
I don't know, but
people,
they're here.
Go home.
Dodger tickets are not cheap.
Game was over in the first inning.
We say goodnight from Chavez Ravine, and the Dodgers win over the Yankees. Tomorrow on Fox, the UFL regular season caps off. The Birmingham Stallions gear up for their playoff run against the Memphis Showboats. 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox. And we say thanks for watching. What a fun night. Always great to be back at Dodger Stadium. Get 2 of the best in the league, superstars with Ohtani and Judge. And the World Series champs looking pretty good. The Dodgers take care of the Yankees on Baseball Night in America. We will see you next time. Good night.
I'll see you when I see ya.